Shalom, this is Apostle Ricard back again, excuse me, with another impromptu video. I say Barakatah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. The water Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. It's going to be another little quick one. The previous video I was getting on how Esau, Jacob's trouble is coming, and we in that time again, right, for Jacob's trouble. I was going into that and how we looking forward to seeing Esau deal with the 2/3 of Jake, these niggas out here. See, but then once again, we understand Jake, the 2/3 of Jake is all fucked up, right? They're destroyed for the lack of knowledge, as it says in Hosea. We understand that, but it all goes back to this devil too, Esau. See, we know that. Everything that's going down, see, this man's the devil. The scriptures say that. That's that other scripture, Esau's not off the hook. Jake gonna get judged for their wickedness, the 2/3. But what's that scripture? It says, the accuser of thy brethren. I bring this scripture out frequently. You see what I'm saying? Esau does this because, remember, it go back to Genesis 25 and 21, the birthright. Because Jacob, our forefather, supplanted Esau, these Edomites, the forefather of these Edomites, out of the birthright. Remember, Esau mourned over there. Esau wanted to kill Jacob. That's where that perpetual hate comes from. So these crackers, they never forgot that. And primarily, it starts with the elites of their society. You know, these illuministic characters, the elites, they rose to the level, small hats, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. This was all a plan, man, really, in the black woman, right? And now, see, you got these other niggas, these influencers and these different people, they using our talking points, and pretty much what they do, they watch our videos. These other two niggas out here, these influencers and red pill dudes, I've been saying this too. They watch our video. They be down low watching our videos. They've been. On the surface, they'll talk shit about us. Now, them Israelite dudes are bugged out. They bugged out. Them brothers is lost. Now, they teaching lies, right? But on the down low, and I can name names, on the down low, them niggas are using our talking points. Them niggas been watching us for years. We out there on the street. Some of them are standing off to the side listening to us, or they'll watch our videos. We on the YouTube. We on social media. So they'll watch our videos, and they'll be like, yeah, these niggas got good talking points, man. Yeah. But they don't want to submit themselves to the Most High himself, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They don't want to submit themselves to Yahweh Shai, which he went on the cross for Israel, right? Starting with the elect, but that shows you the rebelliousness of Israel. But anyways, that's why Israel is suffering now, and the suffering is going to get worse. But these devils, they're going to suffer. Ultimately, Esau is going to go down. Everything they doing, see, the accuser of thy brethren. So basically, Esau, starting with these elites, when they came into power, the whole thing was to say, you know what, we got to find a way to destroy these people. Because that show you Esau, man, the Lord ain't dealing with Esau, man. It's in Obadiah, what does it say? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So by Esau using the nigger woman Eve to destroy Jake with these generational curses and stuff like that, that's violence too. Look at the condition of Jake. The so-called white man did that, man. So he did that. Look at the condition of Jake today. So these Edomites, these elites, the Rothschilds and them, their thing is like, they want to accuse Jake before the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and say, yeah, look at them. Those are your people. That's your chosen people. That's them. But unbeknownst to Esau, that show you, that's why the scriptures tell you that, man. Oh my God, what is it? Psalms 147, 19 and 20. For he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, right? So Esau, these devils, these elites, the Most High, they don't know everything. They know a lot, but they don't know everything. Because the Lord, and then, remember the scripture said too, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, Obadiah, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. So we know that's talking about Esau, right? So these damn devils, right? The Most High got them in a trick bag, man. because he got a spirit of the, what's that scripture? I shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. So he got them in a trick bag, these Edomites, because they in power. And the Lord said Esau would have the fatness of the earth, right? He got a blessing from Isaac too. But the Most High put a demon on Esau from back then in Genesis 25 to think that down the line they were going to win. And these devils, what they've been doing has been very nefarious, man. They said, okay, once Esau came back into power, they was in power during the Greek Empire. They was in power during the Roman Empire. But even back then, the shit they did like hundreds and hundreds of years in the future, couldn't, because even during the Roman Empire, during the Greek and Roman Empire, when them devils, no, they did a lot. Them Greeks, man, when Alexander the Greek came into Jerusalem and took over, man, he started turning Jake into moles. They were killing Jake for not eating swine. They were making Jake try to sacrifice swine on the altar. Now, certain niggas sold out and did it. You always have wicked niggas. But the certain brothers, those men had to be of the elect, they told the Greeks, fuck you. But a lot of Jakes went along with the Greek way. That's how you get your Hellenist. They became Hellenized and went along with it. So there's always a wicked contingency of Jake that went along with the oppressor, right? Then when the power transferred to the Roman Empire, the same thing. But the only difference, like when Esau was back in the Greeks and the Romans, even though they were Hellenizing a lot of Jakes, they still didn't try to take Jake's culture from them completely. Like they still allowed the priests to operate. They still said, okay, well, y'all can still worship y'all God. He told certain Jakes, yeah, the priests could still be the priests. Y'all can still go to y'all temple and worship. They didn't totally try to wipe away Jake. They said, no, y'all Israelites, y'all can still be Israelites. The Greeks allowed that. The Romans too. Remember the Romans, when they were in power during the time of Yahushua, right? Was it the Sanhedrin? If I'm saying that correctly, in Jerusalem, the Romans were in Rome, but they had oh my goodness, what they call that, man, when you set up a military occupational force in somebody else's land. Right now, it's not coming to me. I hate this shit. I can't remember, and it's right there. A garrison, yes, sir. The water Yahweh Yahushua. They set up garrisons in our land. Hence, there's your Pontius Pilate, right? He was like a captain or a general, or no, he was the governor. Pontius Pilate was the governor of Jerusalem. But they didn't say, well, look, man, y'all can't, we shutting y'all temple, we destroying y'all temple, y'all just got to totally become Roman. No, they still allowed the priests to operate, but the priests were all, a lot of them Pharisees were in the pocket of the Romans, They had to pay tribute to the Roman Empire. And with that, as long as they paid their tribute, then they still allowed Jerusalem to operate, meaning Jake and Jerusalem. Remember, you had Roman soldiers all up in Jerusalem, right? It's almost like today. You had the Roman soldiers, the Roman armies all up in Jerusalem. And you had Pontius Pilate, he was the governor. And then on top of that, you had an Edomite set up as the king of the Jews. Herod, he was really an Edomite. He wasn't a Jake, his mother was a Jake. So they knew they had him. They had him right where they had the Jews. See, Esau, he'll say, no, we got him. First of all, we got our garrison set up in Jerusalem. They would never dare think of trying to come against us. And then also, too, we got this guy Herod set up, man. Come on, they knew the code of things, man. Everybody knew in the ancient world, your father determined your nationality, man. The scripture said that. The man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. So they were being devils, but like I said, at that point, they still allowed Jake to be Jake. They didn't try to totally wipe away Jake's identity. The Roman Empire, they say, oh, no, okay, y'all just a conquered people, but we ain't trying to, y'all can still have y'all Passovers, y'all can still have your high holy days, y'all can still worship y'all God, but y'all serve us, y'all in captivity under us. But they didn't totally try to wipe away, like I said, they still let Israel be Israel as a whole, right? But then coming into like hundreds of years in the future now, in the 14th century, because at one point, we know the history, the Roman Empire went down, right? The Roman Empire went down, and Jake pretty much took power of the Roman Empire, and then the Roman Empire split. So that was like a period of 1,000 years, I can name all the different names of these different generals and men that rose up, right? Which went into the so-called Byzantine Empire or the medieval times as we know it, or the Dark Ages, right? That was all Jake ruling. And at that point, we had put Esau in captivity. We had them devils, man, out there. They were the serfs, right? You had poor Israelites too, but then, and like I said, the first Roman Catholic Church was set up by Jake. Now, I'm not saying them original Roman Catholic popes were Jake, but they were wicked and they were going off. Jake, them in the so-called Dark Ages, was going off, right? For the most part, and some of them knew that they were Israelites. Some of them kind of knew that's what the Crusades was all about, because like King Richard the Lionhearted and certain other kings and the knights and the warriors, the soldiers, they were trying to go back. At that point, them Ishmaelites, the Arabs that took control, that's what the Crusades were all about. Because Jake, during the Dark Ages, so to speak, a lot of them knew that they were descendants of the ancient Israelites. They knew that. They had an idea of that. They probably didn't know everything, but they knew. Why would they want to take back the Holy Land? Why would they want to make crusades to go back to Jerusalem where the Arabs, Saladin and them guys, right? There were like 3 crusades. I think 3 that I remember. I might be forgetting one, but I know for a fact there were at least 3 different crusades. And one of them, I believe one of the first ones was led by King Richard the Lionhearted, when he was an Israelite. You know, and he was like a righteous king, you know, but there was a lot of wickedness going on. Because we were remember, we were somewhat removed from the laws and stuff like that. We had Jake had the Bible, but, you know, it was a lot of wickedness, man. We had lost a lot. You see what I'm saying? But then coming into the 1400s, them devils, they slowly slithered back in there. That's when the Borgia family in Spain, all in Jake, that was Spain ruling Jake. That was Jake Salakia ruling in Spain, right? But then them small hats, which the Borgias, you know, somehow, you know, because they were, some of them were, remember, we had them under our yoke. But then what we was doing, we were recruiting them into our army. Same thing they did with us. You do that. We were recruiting them into our armies. You know, we had them. You know, we had Edomites in some of our armies and stuff, and we were bringing Esau. And, you know, we were letting them come up around us, giving them little positions, and eventually they, you know, but it was all prophecy anyway. And then some of them Edomites were intermarrying with some of, you know, our daughters and shit, and then them devils slithered into power, man. Starting with Rodrigo Borgia. His son, we all know as Cesare Borgia. The image everybody knows is Jesus Christ. And then them devils took power, which that was all set up by the Lord. Jake had to go down, remember, for breaking the laws of the Most High. So the Lord that gave us like damn near 1,000 years to rule for a little while. Remember, that's Revelations, the 12th chapter explains all that. The dragon was wounded, but then the dragon, he'll be released again. Right? So it was all prophecy. It had to happen. You know what I mean? Esau had to come back into power all over again. Right? The Borgias, which through the Spirit, matter of fact, I asked Apostle Tahar about it one time. He said, yeah, cunt. If I'm wrong, I'll call him again just to correct myself. I want to always be right. The Borgias, we believe the Borgias are the Rothschilds, but they always do that. They switch their names and move to different parts of the earth. Because what happened to the Borgias just disappeared? No, what happened, man, they were ruling, and then what they did, they always do that. They probably sent some of their family moved from Spain to Germany, and they changed their name from the Borgias to hide themselves in the earth, and started calling themselves Bauer. It started off as Bauer, and he was Maya Enshaw Bauer was a money lender. You see, a loan shark. But then he said, you know what, let's change it again. Kings would come to him to borrow money. So he said, let's put a red shield up in his window, so when everybody wants to borrow money, they know it's me, the red shield, Rothschild. You see, so this is a little history I threw at y'all today, but the scriptures, but hey, man, that's why I quoted Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. See, like the scripture says in Obadiah, going back to Obadiah, right? He says, though his excellency reach up to the clouds, up into heaven, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So these devils, the reason Jake is all fucked up, well, Jake is fucked up they got to take accountability too. Us as Israelites, we broke the laws, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But this devil Esau, he's not off the hook. He's not off the hook. The condition Jake is in today is because Esau created that. You know, it started, the whole reason why black people are all fucked up, Hispanic people, you know, he took the man out the house, created these single mother homes, and you had these young Israelite men growing up without fathers, and then feeding them junk food, and then this fucked up philosophies and shit like that. Yeah, all that, man. So this devil, man, he gonna pay. He gonna pay. It's gonna come out of his ass in the kingdom when the Lord raised the tribes of Israel back up again. But the elect is got it together, man. You know, the elect, the Lord always saved an elect. These 2/3 niggas out here in the world, brothers, they have nothing to do with us. No, we have nothing to do with them. And the best thing to do with these 2/3 mother effers is to avoid them at all costs. Don't even make eye contact. Well, the scriptures in Proverbs said that. Avoid the paths of wicked men. Flee it, pass it by, turn away. I don't care you walking up the street or you anywhere you at. Let's say if you go to the movies and you see some niggas. I don't care. It could be Big Shirley, Pookie, Ray, Keisha, and they're sitting in a particular part of the movie theater. You go all the way to the other side, go in the back, go somewhere far away. You in the supermarket, you see niggas. You go to the other. Dip to the other side, quickly grab what you got to grab and get the fuck out of there. Like, I'm serious, man. And also, too, if you go to certain places, let's say you go to certain, all of us, we got little spots we like to go get, like, I don't really eat out that much, but when we do, we have certain little spots that we go to, certain little restaurants that have a little bar. You go somewhere to have a little something to eat or a little drink. We don't go to spots where we know niggas frequent. We got a whole itinerary of like certain key places that if we're gonna step out, get something to eat real quick or a little drink, we don't go to certain places that we know niggas go. You understand? We avoid these niggas, man. For real. You brothers understand? Real talk. Stay away from these niggas. If you look, all you gotta do is look on YouTube. These 2/3 niggas, man, brother, they're beyond animals. They're monsters. They're totally, Jeremiah 2:21, totally degenerate. This devil Esau did his job well, man, on Jake. He did a number on Jake, man. He gonna pay for that, though. You know what I mean? But I really just want to keep pushing that shit out there, bro. Big Shirley, and these motherfuckers are just monsters. They're monsters, bro. Like, when you can look and see the demon on them, like, they're not even operating on a functional, normal. They're not normal. They're not normal. They're not normal. When you look at Big Shirley and they be going up in Walmart and Target trying to steal, then when they get caught, like them monsters will not, man, these monsters are going around attacking people, crashing out. Yeah, man, tearing shit up. Yeah, man, they'll go somewhere. If they don't like the way they're being treated, they'll start breaking shit. Big Shirley, Rasputia. These are nothing but giant fucking terrorists, lunatics. And that's why you got to stay away from them. Keep your women, keep your kids far away from Big Shirley and Rasputia. And Pookie and Ray, man, stay far the fuck away from them. All right, brothers? But with that, man, I'm going to wrap this up. I pray the video was edifying. And I say shalom to you brothers that are hopeful elect, man. Shalom.